Hello, my friends, and welcome to the next video in the Create Better Content series, where I'm going to show you how to tap into your creativity so that you never run out of content ideas again. I'm Penny, and I'm your guide through this creative content development process. I'm going to be teaching you how to create more engaging content to post that will help you reach more qualified customers online. And if you want to learn more about creativity and how this can help you develop your content marketing plans, I'd love to see you hit that button and subscribe to this channel. So we're going to continue focusing on spring cleaning for your content development. In today's video, I want to do more than just focus on creating amazing content. I want to show you which of the key social media metrics you should be tracking and how this information is going to help you with your content creation. So, the great thing about social media and all this algorithm stuff is that it allows you to track almost every detail through your social media metrics. Now, we've all heard people talking about algorithms, and the algorithm shows this and the algorithm shows that, and I can't do this because of the algorithm. Well, there is a good thing about the algorithm, and that it tracks data, and it's going to help us understand what's working, what's not working, and what just needs some tweaking, right? So what exactly are social media metrics? What am I even talking about today? Social media metrics are actually the data points, real data points that show you how your social media and marketing strategy is performing. It gives you all this great information to understand everything from how many people are seeing your content, all the way through how much money you just earned from a social media campaign of some paid ads that you ran. So let me walk you through what you should be tracking every single month and how this is going to help you develop your marketing content. So the first place for us to start is something called your reach. Reach is simply the number of people who see your content. It's a great idea every single month to monitor your average reach. And then the really cool thing about almost every single one of these social media platforms is it's not just a monthly average reach, but you can actually see the reach that are post specific. So you can see the reach of an individual post, a story, or a video. And if we really even want to drill down even further, many of these platforms have a subset of this metric, and it actually can show you the percentage of your reach, which is followers versus non-followers. So if you're finding that there's a lot of people that are not actually following your page, friend, connection, whatever it is that word is that we use in the social platform, if a lot of people who are non-followers are actually seeing your content, this is a good thing, because it means that your content is being shared and it is doing really, really well in the algorithms, which means that when people are putting a search in, your content is coming up as an answer. So that's a great thing. And so it's always great to make sure that we are paying attention to what's going on with our reach. Okay, so the next thing I want to talk about is something called impressions. And impressions are different than your reach, where reach is about the number of people who see your content. Impressions is the number of times a person sees your content. In most cases, your impression number is going to be much, much more higher than your reach, because it's very easy to believe that a single person or the same person has looked at your content more than once. Maybe they were scrolling through and then they come back again and they read it again, or maybe they come back again to hit the share button or something like that. So every time that particular person comes back and comes back and comes back, that increases the impression number. But the reach is still that one person. So those are two different numbers that we want to look at. But what's really, really great about the impression number is this. So if you see a post or a video or any other type of marketing message that's out there that has an especially high number of impressions, that means, especially if it's got a high level of impressions compared to the reach, that means that most people are looking at this post multiple times. And so I would highly advise you to do a little bit of digging into this and take a look at this particular post, this particular video, this marketing message, and see what is it about this that is making this, you know, almost maybe even going viral, if that's the case, and that's why the level of impressions is so high. So another thing I want you to look at is something called the engagement rate. And the engagement rate is the number of engagements. And what I mean by engagements, I'm referring to reactions, and that's the like, that's the angry face, that's the sad face, that's the support face, that's, you know, the love, that's all of those things. Those are all called reactions. The number of comments, the number of shares that your content gets, all of those numbers combined together into an engagement rate. Now remember, not all of your followers are going to see your posts. And that has everything to do with that social platform itself, the way that people are curating their feeds and what they're seeing and what they're not seeing. So if you are continuing to get a lot of engagement on people who are not following you yet, be sure to dig into those numbers and see if you can get more details. And I just said this, you know, with the last one, and I want to repeat this again. So let me talk a little bit about what I mean by digging in and getting some more details. When I work with my clients and I talk to them about doing, checking your analytics and seeing what's going on, I like to look at the number of at least 3 months. It's great to track something for 1 month, and it's great to see it second month, but usually by the third month, that's when we can start to see patterns with the data. We can see patterns in the data in the sense of this particular quote does really, really well. Why is it when I do videos that do behind the scenes type of things, those do really, really well? You'll start to see patterns. What is it? Maybe there's something that you keep posting every single Monday morning, a Monday motivation type of thing, and that seems to be doing well. You will start to find patterns once you have at least 3 months worth of data. And when you get into your social media platforms, you'll be able to see these numbers, and you'll be able to actually say, okay, this does really well, this one not so much. This does really well on this particular date, this one does really well at this particular time. So you can start to adjust, and you can start to see what is happening and why is this reaching so many people? Why is the impression number so well? Why is the engagement going up? You know, was it the headline? Was it the image that was connected to it? Was it the video? Was it the copy? Was it the call to action? Those are all the kind of numbers that you want to check when you start digging in to see what's going on with the engagement rate. Why is this impression going so well? What's going on with the reach? Those are the things that you're going to start looking at over time, and you'll start to see patterns. And when you start to see patterns and you start to see things that are repeating over and over and over again, those are the strong pieces of content. Those headlines, those images, those call to action pieces, those videos, those are the ones that are working and they're resonating with your community, as well as people who are not following you yet, and that you are receiving all of this data from people that from the algorithm that the algorithm is helping to reach. So take a look at all of that information and start really tracking this. And you know, just the tracking it itself is enough to give you to give you some information. But the numbers are going to help you to determine what's going on this month. Why did I see a drop? Why did I see an increase? So this is something that I highly recommend that you do. If you have not started doing this by now, this is a great time for you to start, because we're doing our spring cleaning. So the next thing, let's jump into the next one. The next one I want to talk about is something called an amplification rate. The amplification rate is actually the ratio of shares per post to the number of your overall followers. That's a real fancy way of saying this, but basically it's the rate at which your followers are sharing your content through their networks. They're sharing it with their family and friends. They could even be sharing it with into another network, because we've all seen those share buttons where you can share to another cross-platform or something like that. So that is what the rate is with the amplification rate. The higher your amplification rate, the more your followers are expanding your reach on your posts. And it's really simple to figure this thing out, because I don't know if a lot of the social media platforms have the amplification rate as one of their statistics, but it's very easy for you to do. All you need to do is divide the posts, that's post specific, the total number of shares by the number of your followers. And then you'll get a number there, and you want to just multiply that by 100, and that's going to give you a percentage of that. And that is what you're going to get when you see that amplification rate. Okay, another thing for you to start tracking and monitoring are your video views, because you're creating videos, right? We're all creating videos. And I'm not just talking about videos like here on YouTube. I mean, videos on Instagram, videos on Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, everywhere. All the social media platforms are video related. So a lot of them, especially here on YouTube, you are going to find video views, and that's going to show you how many people are actually watching your video. Now, each social network counts a view a little different. Some of them count a view as just a few seconds as a view. Some make, you have to go at least 30 seconds or something like that. So each one of them is a different level of, a different amount of time, of watch time, I guess is the best way to say it, counts as a view. And if you really want to dig into that, do a little bit of research on this specific social media platform that you're using, and that one will tell you, oh, you need to have at least 30 seconds before it's counted as a view, or 10 seconds or something like that. You'll know that kind of information. So the video views are really great to know, but a better metric for you to follow is your video completion rate. And that is people who are watching your videos all the way to the end. And when people are watching your videos all the way to the end, that is a great indication that you are creating some quality content that is connecting with your community. And also, the thing is that what's happening is when people are, just as a side note with regard to this video completion rate, when people are going to the very end, that actually signals the social media algorithms that this one is a good video to bring up in a search result. So if somebody's looking for something and your video is one that people are actually watching to the end, if you're doing a good job with your keywords and you are doing a good job with your content, the algorithm will, present your video as the solution to somebody's search. So the video completion rate is a really, really good one to watch. So video views are good, but video completion rates are even better. So that's another thing that you want to track. And it'd be really good to see, your views, your total video views versus the completion rate. That would be a really good one to track. Okay, a couple more here. And these are connected a lot with more of the paid type of programs that are out there right now, but I still want to talk about them. So there's click-through rate. The click-through rate is how often people are actually clicking on your post to, download this file, to read the rest of your blog post, reading, to whatever call to action that you have, even going to your online store. The click-through rate is going to be monitoring the actual action itself of people clicking on your link. And so it gives you a sense of not just how many people are seeing your content, but they want to know more. This is, again, another good indicator that your social content is really, really on par and really on track with what is resonating with your community, because it's not just that they saw your posts reach, and it's not just that they are seeing it several times, impression, and engaging with it, engagement rate, but if they are actually taking action. That is the click-through rate itself. And those are great numbers to check, because it's great to know that we're reaching people, and it's great to know that people are engaging, but what we want them to do is we want them to take action. It is our goal to move people off of social media onto our websites, off of social media into our email lists, into our funnels. So we want to move them from social media to whatever it is, the online store, the blog post, the email opt-in, whatever it is your call to action is. The click-through rate is what is going to help you determine what's going on with that. And the last one that I want to talk about is cost per click. This is directly connected to any time that you are running any kind of paid ads on Facebook, on Instagram, on TikTok, on LinkedIn, on Twitter, you name it, every place has paid ads. And within a paid ad, you're going to be able to determine something called cost per click. It's kind of an average number of the amount that you're paying per individual click on your ad. And it's pretty much connected to something which they refer to as the lifetime value of a customer. And it gives you a good idea about how your social campaigns are working. Most likely you're not going to need to run any kind of calculations on cost per clicks. Every single one of them is going to find it. You're going to find that number in the analytics. You're probably also going to be finding some more information depending upon the social media network where you're running your ad to see, what your keywords are working. Especially if you're doing I know on Facebook when I have done ads before, I generally do them in ad sets of 3 so that I can determine out of the 3 ads and the ad set, which one is doing better. And then I can always go back and look, was it the headline? Was it the image? Was it the call to action? And when you have 3 of them running like that and you're giving them all the same amount of money with the same amount of community engagement, it's going to help you determine which ad is doing well. And for reasons, depending upon the social platform, you'll be able to determine more than just the cost per click. But the cost per click is always a good place to start for assessing what's going on and tracking what's going on with your social campaigns. So what's the big deal about all of this? Why is this stuff so important? Why should I even be thinking about social media metrics and tracking all of them? Well, let me tell you this. Social media metrics are basically telling you whether your content strategy is working. And it's going to show you how you can improve things. It's going to show you how much effort and money, if you're spending it, and how much you're getting in return. So without the metrics, without the numbers, without the data, it's just basically you're just throwing spaghetti against the wall to see what sticks. And you don't really know what's happening with your business and that whole social media atmosphere that we live in, right? And without this data, you can't create an informed content strategy. Without this data, you're not able to see if your marketing is working. Without this data, you're not able to see that the content that you're creating is resonating with your community. So, as I had said to you before, I would definitely think that this is a part of something. I know for me, every single month at the end of the month, one of the things that I do is I do a full-on marketing audit, and one of the things that I do is I track my social media metrics and I track my data to see so that I can see what's working, what's not working, and what needs tweaking. So thank you so much for joining me today with this creative process. If you've enjoyed this content about creativity, I hope you'll consider subscribing to this channel. And if you're ready to dig in and do the deep work of developing your content marketing strategy, the link is below so you can subscribe to the Create Your Business program. And when your monthly interactive workbook shows up in your inbox and the creative tools show up at your front door, you'll learn how to develop your content marketing plans in a new way that no one else is using to sell online. You'll be able to come up with ideas you haven't thought of before, something that can help your customers do something easier, help you make more money, or just discover a new way to turn your business products or services into something that everybody wants to buy. You are magnificent, my friends, and let me be the first to say, I'm proud of you. Until next time.